You signed the contract. You paid the deposit. And you moved into the apartment. Your clothes are in the closet. Your food is in the refrigerator. You sleep there every night. To everyone around you, it is obviously your home. The landlord knows you live there. Your neighbors know you live there. Even the delivery driver knows you live there. But in Korea, there is a difference between living somewhere and being recognized as living there. And that difference can matter more than many renters realize. Most renters assume protection begins automatically after moving in. It sounds reasonable. You signed the contract, you paid the deposit, and you already live there. What else could be missing? Surely the system knows where you live. But legal systems do not work on assumptions. They work on records. And until the system officially recognizes your residence, your legal position may not be what you think it is. Imagine someone asks, "Can you prove you live there?" You point to the apartment. You point to the contract. You point to your furniture. You point to the key in your pocket. Everything seems obvious, but the system points somewhere else. It points to the record. This is where many foreign renters become confused. They focus on the apartment. They focus on the contract. But protection depends on something else. The apartment already knows you live there, but the system doesn't. And until the system knows, your position may not be what you think it is. The system must recognize that this address is now your legal residence. Only then can certain protections begin. Imagine two renters. They sign similar contracts. They pay similar deposits. And they move into similar apartments on the same day. Everything looks identical. But one renter completes the required reporting process immediately. The other delays it. Now the system recognizes one renter. The other remains invisible. The apartment is the same. The contract is the same. The deposit is the same. But their legal positions are no longer the same. Why? Because once the system officially recognizes your residence, future claims against the property must now take your existence into account. That recognition changes your position inside the structure. Imagine that something goes wrong years later. A new creditor appears, or the property becomes involved in a legal dispute. At that moment, the question is no longer, "Do you live there?" The question becomes, "Can you prove that the system recognized you as living there?" That is when recognition becomes important. The apartment did not change. The contract did not change, but your position did. This is why protection in Korea is not only about where you live. It is about whether the system recognizes where you live, because the law cannot easily protect something it does not officially know. So how does the system recognize you? Through a process called the Moving In Report. This is not simply administrative paperwork. It is the step that officially records your residence at that address. For many renters, it feels like a small task, something that can wait until tomorrow. But as we discussed in the previous episode, timing matters. Because legal protection does not begin when you think about doing it. It begins when the system records it. That does not mean every renter who delays a report will face a problem. Most never do. But deposit protection is not about preparing for normal situations. It is about preparing for the unexpected ones. The situations where timing, order, and legal position suddenly become important. Many renters spend weeks searching for the right apartment. Others spend days negotiating the right contract. Both are important, but protection begins when the system recognizes that you live there. A home is where you live. Protection begins when the system knows you live there.